good day of work out there. Really looking forward to Military Appreciation Day. We had the Stars and Stripes helmet on today at practice, and I think the players are looking forward to it as well. I know we're going to have a great turnout from our own Rutgers ROTC contingent. Questions?
Let's ask you this during the week. You've had two widely varying results after buys. One very good, one not. Do you ever have a sense off the buy how they're going to come out with that layoff?
I mean, you have a sense, I guess, in terms of how well you think you've prepared. I think we've had a very good week of preparation. And that now ultimately that gets judged on game day. So the preparation we had this week is going to help us. Hopefully, it helps us get the result that we're looking for to be 1-0 on Saturday. That's the most important thing. I think they're all different. Yeah, it's hard in a football season to say that 2 weeks are the same because they never are. And I've stated in the past, I don't believe in momentum in football. You create momentum within a game. I don't know that there's any momentum week to week in football.
Well, those two games, I guess the one would be the SMU, right, and then Houston. Did you have a sense that both weeks had gone the way you wanted to?
I did.
That you expected one result, the other one must have come as a complete surprise to you.
Both games. You get so entrenched in the current week after you make the corrections. But in both games, we started the game well, if I'm remembering it correctly, which I think I am, and that usually makes you feel good about how well you prepared. Now, as you go through the game, as coaches, we're responsible to make the right adjustments, to make sure the players are in the same spot. And sometimes other things affect the game, like turnovers. If you don't protect the football, that certainly can make the game go in a direction you don't want it to go, like Houston did. And in SMU, we really got through the first 3 quarters of the game feeling like we played pretty good football, and then we didn't finish it the right way in the fourth quarter, and then had to come back and ultimately win it in overtime. So I think, as coaches, we get interested in the process, interested in the week of preparation, and hopefully that shows itself on game day. But over time, it will show itself. There's no doubt about that.
Got any depth chart resolutions? Halfback, cornerback, strong safety, kicker?
Not yet. I think we want to look at today and see how we feel about today's practice, and then I'll get something to Jay a little bit later today, maybe with the injury report if there's any changes.
Obviously, there's a lot of moving pieces in the defensive line, secondary. How important is that stability at linebacker you guys have had pretty much all season?
I think it helps. The defensive line and the receiver position, they're a little bit of rotation positions to begin with. So you're always going to have guys moving in and out, and I think that helps from a standpoint of when you have injuries. I don't know that the injuries necessarily hurt your continuity because those guys are all playing with each other all the time. And for us, we've tried at times to play with 9 defensive linemen this year. And same thing at receiver. We try to play a lot of receivers and keep those guys fresh, and so we can run the deeper routes in our offense effectively. At linebacker, it's generally not a position of rotation. You'd like to have your guys in there and allow them to see what's in front of them and have a feel for what the offense is trying to do to you. And we've been fortunate. We've stayed pretty healthy at the linebacker position, with the exception of the kidney injury, the kind of freak injury that Jamal had earlier in the year. So I think it has helped us get better as the year's gone on.
Did you know that Longer could step in and fill those bigger roles he has, or has it been a pleasant surprise?
I had a lot of confidence coming into the season that Stephen would play at a high level, but he has to show us that on game day, and I think he's done that. So there's no absolutes in this business. We have a feeling as coaches that's how we set the depth chart, but ultimately the players got to go out and win that position on game day.
It's a challenge of a 240-pound Wildcat guy. They seem to vary sometimes. Either they're big, huge guys, or they can be quicker guys, right?
Absolutely.
And what's the challenge that he presents?
I think the first challenge with the Wildcat is you get unique formations, so it gives you something else you have to prepare for. You can have 2-back runs that you have to fit, but from 1-back sets where they can displace one of your defenders. So those are things that you have to handle in terms of game planning. And then you better make sure that your tackling technique is on point, because a bigger guy will bounce off you if it's not.
Was Houston the only other Wildcat team so far?
I believe that is correct. I'm trying to think of Norfolk.
And were you pleased with the way you handled that Wildcat situation?
I mean, I don't know if I want to go back and comment on the Houston game.
Well, it's the only Wildcat reference I have. So
we're not happy with the way we played against Houston in general.
Yeah.
So it'd be hard for me to say that they ran the ball well, they threw the ball well on us, we didn't execute on offense. So it'd be hard for me to say I was happy with it, with too many things in that game.
Kyle, we know the advantages of being a 6'6" wide receiver, but what are some of the challenges that somebody like Brandon faces? I know footwork is something that would probably come to mind, and how does he handle those he has a lot of moving parts, obviously.
I think when you're a bigger guy, it gives defenders more of a surface to get their hands on you. So you have to become really adept at hand-to-hand combat in terms of your releases.
Got time for two more.
Do you decide on the place kicker yet, or?
No, I'd say right now I'm leaning towards Kyle starting the game. We'll finalize that today too. As I sit down with Joe.
K's completion percentage kind of jumps off the page, but when you look at a box score, like what are the passing stats you focus in? Is that a big one? Is it yards per attempt, or where do things kind of shape up with you?
It's really not passing yards. I think completion percentage is indicative of two things: the types of passes they throw and the quality of the decisions that a quarterback makes. I think the statistics in a game over time that have proven to win football games are rushing yards, drive start, turnovers, and big plays. Those four categories, you can look at specific numbers and trends and say, okay, you can win a really high percentage of football games if you do this. Passing yardage has never been one of those numbers. Some teams tend to throw the ball more, some teams don't. Now, I think they do a very good job. Brennan's an excellent decision maker, and within their scheme, they ask him to do things that he's really good at.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.